Hi, I'm Holly Robichaud with U.S. Term Limits, and today we are glad to have Kevin Coughlin with us, involved with to be our Ohio State Chair. He's got some big shoes to fill with former, now U.S. Senator Bernie Moreno being a U.S. Senator, and so we're glad to have Kevin on board, taking up the helm, taking up the cause out there in Ohio. So glad you could join us today. So, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I served for 14 years in the Ohio legislature, 4 years in the House, and 10 years in the Senate. And part of that was before term limits took effect in 2010, I guess that would have been, or what was it, 2000. And then much of it was after term limits took effect. So I saw both before and after. And of course, I've seen it since then in the 2 decades that we've had it here in Ohio. I left when I was at the end of my term limit. I went home. I started a business. I've been doing that for the last 15 years. And I ran for Congress last year in a very tough district, one of the closest districts in the country. Came up just a bit short, and climbed on board with U.S. term limits because there's no question that Congress is broken. I was not always a term limits fan. I have to tell you, back in when I was in the legislature, I had all the usual arguments that you hear against it. But two things have happened. Number one, we've had over 2 decades in Ohio of experience with term limits, and the world is not upside down. We've got some very fine leaders. Things have moved forward. Ohio has continued to grow, and we've got new blood and a churn of new blood coming in, a new set of eyes and fresh eyes coming into the legislature. The second thing that's happened, in my view, is that particularly from the congressional campaign, came to the realization that, over the course of my lifetime, Congress has really been screwing up. They've been giving up all their power, partially because they're lazy, partially because they just don't want to do the work to the executive branch, and they've put us in this mess of indebtedness and overspending and lack of oversight over the bureaucracy. And these are the people that we believe are experienced. So I think maybe a little bit of that shock of bringing in new blood from time to time and forcing that would be a good thing for Congress.